When Marina received an invitation to work in the small town of Belogorsk, she decided that it was a chance to start from scratch. The town was far away from large population centers, surrounded by dense forests and hills. It looked peaceful, almost the perfect place to forget about the past. But from her very first day in Belogorsk, she began to notice oddities. The streets seemed empty, though the lights were on in the houses. People looked at her warily, as if strangers were rare here. "It's quiet here," Vasily, the driver who drove her to her new home, told her. Quiet, but not always peaceful. Marina moved into a small house on the outskirts of town. It was old but cozy, overlooking the forest. At night she woke up from a strange noise. It seemed like someone was walking down the street in front of her house. She looked out the window and saw a figure. It was a woman dressed in an old-fashioned dress. Her movements were slow and her head was tilted slightly to the side, as if she was looking for someone. "Can I help you?" Marina shouted. The woman stopped, but did not answer. She just stood there without moving until she disappeared into the shadows. The next day Marina decided to learn more about Belogorsk. In the city center she met an old woman who was selling pies. "You are new," said the old woman, looking at Marina carefully. "It's been a long time since anyone came to us." "And why?" Marina asked. "This city, it is not for everyone," the woman evasively answered. When Marina entered the local store, she heard two men whispering about something behind the counter. "I saw her again last night," said one. "She was standing at my window." "Are you sure it was her?" the other one asked. "Yes, it was my sister, but she died 10 years ago." Marina felt a chill run down her back. That night Marina heard footsteps again. This time they were closer. She looked out the window and saw a group of people moving slowly down the street. Their faces were strangely familiar, yet lifeless. She stepped outside to get a closer look, but the figures disappeared as soon as she got closer. Only footprints remained on the ground, deep footprints, as if these people had walked barefoot. Back in the house, Marina noticed something on the doorstep. It was an old photograph. It showed a man in a military uniform and a woman who resembled the one she had seen last night. On the back of the photograph was written, "They are returning to finish what they started." Marina began to hear voices. They sounded quiet, like whispers coming from the forest. "Help us," it sounded over and over again. She tried to ignore it, but one day she woke up in the night to find the door of her house open. Standing on the threshold was the same woman in an old-fashioned dress. Her face was pale and her eyes were empty. "You have to save us," she said before disappearing into the darkness. Marina realized that something terrible was happening in this city, and she somehow found herself in the center of events. Marina could not sleep. Her mind was reeling